Hi guys. On a weekly basis, I receive a lot of emails from people inquiring about the CTC or combined therapy cocktail process that I provide. And I thought today would be a really good opportunity to share some words with you and to give you a little bit more of an understanding as to my experience with CTC and my personal experience. But firstly, what is CTC? So combined therapy cocktail encompasses a number of different therapies in one 2-hour life transformational session. So it includes Reiki, hypnosis, emotional freedom technique or EFT or tapping, as some of you may already be aware, neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, which looks at mind mechanics, and a number of other processes that really depend on the issues that a client brings to the table. So effectively what happens is a client comes to me with a bullet point list of every single thing that's holding them back from feeling amazing. So I'm not so interested in the story. What I'm interested in is the feelings associated with the story. So to give you an understanding of the sorts of things that were on my list, so I had my CTC session 2.5 years ago at a point that I was still very unwell with chronic fatigue syndrome. I wasn't working, I wasn't well enough to work. I'd come out of 18 years in the recruitment industry with absolutely no idea what I was going to do with my future. So on my list was a feeling of not being good enough, was a fear of never having a normal life, a fear of never being free of chronic fatigue, a limiting belief that every time I got a bit busy I'd get overwhelmed and then I'd crash and go to bed for a week, a terrifying, paralysing fear of public speaking, which I'd had all my life, a fear of spiders, a need to please people, a fear of judgment, and the list went on. And I went into that session with all of these issues, and 2 hours later I walked out free of all of it, including chronic fatigue syndrome. It was unbelievable. And whilst during that session, as I think I mentioned, I had a terrible, prior to the CTC session, I had this real feeling of being stuck. I had no idea what to do with my future and how to move forward. I felt like my feet were in cement, if you like. And I was also freed of that feeling during the session. And whilst I didn't walk out knowing, there wasn't a light bulb moment where I realised, oh, great, yep, this is exactly what my future is going to look like and this is what I'm going to do with my career. But I walked out with this amazing feeling that I could do anything. So I lost that feeling of not being good enough. I believed that everything would just work out. And within 3 months of that CTC session, the holistic ingredient had been born, and I'm now doing all those things that I'm most passionate about on a daily basis. So wherever you are in the world really makes no difference as far as this therapy goes. I provide this therapy in my practice in Victoria, Australia. I also provide it via Skype all over the world, so it really doesn't matter where you reside, and it makes absolutely no difference in terms of its effectiveness. Perhaps as well I could give you a little bit more of an understanding as to the other issues that clients bring to the table. So a very common issue is anxiety. Certainly that feeling of being stuck is something I deal with in most sessions. Food addictions, eating disorders, difficulties letting go of things that have happened in the past. So grief, abuse, difficulty forgiving, a fear of perhaps not being a good therapist as an example, or a good lawyer or whatever it is, or a good wife, or a fear of not being a good mother, a fear of heights, alcohol, smoking addictions. It really doesn't matter, but I think what's the most incredible thing about this process is that it is terribly simple. And as humans, we've been conditioned to believe that if we've been carrying all these issues around for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, that the solution would have to be really complicated. In actual fact, it's not complicated at all. And this 2-hour life transformational session can free you of all of that, as long as you are ready to let it all go, and as long as you are ready to take responsibility for your healing post the treatment. So what I do during the session is I provide you with lots of tips and tools, really simple, beautiful tips and tools to help you manifest the life that you want and to help better live your life, if you like. So certainly if you are interested in hearing any more information or reading any more information about this therapy, you can read about it under the wellness therapy section of my website, theholisticingredient.com. please feel free to email me to ctc@theholisticinGradient.com. I'm certainly very happy to have a chat to you on the phone if that would be more comfortable for you. But yes, sure, if there are any other queries, please don't hesitate to send them through, and I'll come back to you as soon as I can. But know that the solution really is very simple, and you can be free of it all tomorrow if you so decide. Thanks very much.